What's that one thing that really separates a good company from a truly legendary one? Is it the product, the people, maybe just perfect timing? Well, today we're going to dig into a really powerful idea from Meta COO Sheryl Sandberg that suggests the answer is something much, much bigger. It's about having a vision that can actually scale. Okay, so let's dive in with this quote right here from Sandberg herself. This is our guiding principle for the whole explainer. This idea of compelling people with the why. That's the golden thread we're going to follow. It's really the heart of what makes a leader and a company truly exceptional. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with a really personal story about a major career shift. Then we'll see how that led to a huge revelation at Google. After that, we'll explore how this same pattern shows up in other iconic companies. And finally, we'll bring it all back to what this means for you. All right, so let's rewind a bit. Our story starts with Sheryl Sandberg's early career, which was driven by this one really powerful motivation. She wanted to make a real, tangible difference in the world. And back then, she was pretty sure the corporate world was the absolute last place you could ever do that. So you can see her path started in these deeply mission-based roles. First, she's at the World Bank in India working on leprosy. Then she's at the US Treasury, right in the middle of a massive financial crisis. I mean, these are jobs where the impact is so direct and profound. But then, after a change in government, she made a move that pretty much surprised everyone, including herself. And this right here, this really gets to the core of her mindset at the time. Sandberg was just completely convinced that mission and profit were like opposing forces. She wanted to improve people's lives, and she figured the only way to do that was to stay as far away from for-profit businesses as possible. That belief, it was about to get totally flipped on its head. And this is where everything changes. She lands in Silicon Valley at Google. Now you have to remember, this was not the Google we know today. Not even close. It was this tiny 250-person company, and a lot of people thought she was kind of crazy for joining a web-based ad company right after the whole dot-com bubble had just burst. But this is what changed her mind. It wasn't about the ads, it was about this mission. A mission to basically democratize information, to take all this knowledge that was once just for the elite and make it available to absolutely everyone. It was a vision that was so much bigger than just business. So this whole experience gave her this huge aha moment about what she calls a scalable vision. But what does that actually mean? What are the ingredients that make a mission statement more than just some nice words on a wall? Okay, so here's the secret sauce. The most crucial part is that a scalable vision is basically infinite. You can never finish organizing all the world's information, right? And because it's so massive, it pushes people to go way beyond their daily tasks. But most importantly, it gives every single thing the company does a really clear and compelling purpose, a powerful why. And the really brilliant thing here is that this isn't just some tech industry secret. This exact pattern, this huge scalable vision, it's the engine behind some of the most iconic brands in the entire world, across totally different industries. Let's start with a big one, Apple. It's so easy to forget now, but what Steve Jobs was proposing with his original vision was incredibly radical for its time. Think about it. Back then, computers were seen as these giant, impersonal machines just for big corporations. Apple's vision was to take that immense power and put it directly into the hands of individuals. The mission wasn't just to build a better computer, it was to completely change our relationship with technology itself, to make it personal. Okay, now let's jump to something completely different. Coffee. How on earth do you build a world-changing vision around a simple drink? Well, that's because Starbucks was never just about selling better coffee. Howard Schultz's real vision was to create a third place, somewhere between work and home, a place for community. So the mission wasn't the coffee was just the vehicle for nurturing the human spirit and building that community, one neighborhood at a time. And for our last example, to really hammer this home, let's look at Nike. Before Nike came along, the whole idea of what it meant to be an athlete was pretty much reserved for elite professionals. Nike's genius was to completely redefine and democratize that concept. Their vision wasn't just to sell shoes to top performers, it was to inspire the athlete that's inside everyone, and suddenly, anyone could just do it. That simple, powerful, inclusive idea is exactly what made the brand a cultural force. So we've seen this pattern pop up in tech, in electronics, in coffee, and in sports apparel. Okay, let's bring this all home and really connect the dots.
The common thread here is that none of these companies are just selling a product. They're selling a belief, an idea, a mission. They're providing a reason for existing that goes so far beyond just making a profit. It's a why that attracts the most passionate employees and creates these intensely loyal customers.
And this brings us right back full circle to Sandberg's main point. For the greatest leaders and the greatest companies, the what and the why are exactly the same thing. Making information accessible, making technology personal, nurturing the human spirit, that's not just a mission statement they wrote down, it is the work itself. And so this leaves us with a final thought. Whether you're leading a whole company, a small team, or maybe just your own career, what's that infinite, compelling mission that drives you? What is the vision that will scale for you?